Hi, welcome to SVR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. Jimmy the Bag is with us. We are starting off right on time today, which is very nice. On Monday, I had a tech issue. Tuesday, Jim had a tech issue. But now we're all good. And yesterday, I can't even remember. How did things go in our picks yesterday? NHL, I had another winner. I'm at a high watermark now for NHL. NBA, you had two winners, didn't you, Jim?
Yeah, 2-0 in NBA, 3-2 in NHL, but a losing day in NCAA basketball.
Right. And of course, I did have a loser with Northern Illinois. I don't know what I was thinking. When I was previewing that game a long time ago this month, I thought that it might be a good spot for Northern Illinois to get it together in bowl season, and they didn't. And so I had to eat a loss with that. Congratulations to everyone who had UAB. A bunch of people did have UAB last night. They were commenting on it in the comment section, and kudos to you guys. So we've got a small NHL card today, a huge NBA card today, and then college basketball. I did not have time to look into the college basketball card. Jimmy the Bag, what's your plan for college basketball today? Did you look at any overnight lines? Are you going to wait to collaborate with all of your collaborators on Twitter? What are you going to do for college basketball, or just pass completely on the day? What do you think?
No, that's going to be the plan. I really want to hammer this NBA card, working with everybody. I see angles. I've not made any bets so far. I see angles on both of the NHL games, but the college will take work all afternoon.
Okay, sounds good. And so if you have any, if anyone in the comment section has any picks or leans or opinions on the college basketball card today, by all means, throw them in there. Jim and I are probably going to just give it a cursory once over. My very first Instagram video pick, Jimmy the Bag, yesterday was a winner. It was Chattanooga plus 4.5. It was close. It was they lost by 3, but that is officially a winner. And I just felt like it was a good spot for them, maybe getting a few too many points. So my first official Instagram video pick was a winner. Chattanooga plus 4.5. And actually, all the plays that I tweeted out last night, overall, I believe they had a nice winning record. And there was also the friggin' Kansas game that I thought I tweeted out on the over, but I didn't. That was definitely a play that I liked. You had that one. That was one of your winners yesterday in college basketball. But how about that? I'm on Instagram, Jimmy the Bag, tweeting out video winners. 1-0 ATS in my Instagram video plays so far.
That's exciting. You're connecting with the millennials. Pete, before we get started in today's show, as you know, we are a family here on LoBag, and it just, when things are difficult in life, we know that we have this show to hang with our friends and cap together, and our friends have become family members, and it's, this, as for both of us, this show means the world to us. And there's going to be times when our family members are doing well. There's going to be times when we need to help our family members and pick them up. And we have a situation where we have a beloved low-bagger, Red Girl, who has just had to deal with the death of her father, which has been very, very difficult for the whole family. And as we know, we are also her family. And there is a fund being built and I will send the link to help pay for the expenses that are attributed to the funeral and all the expenses that come with a death in the family. So I will be putting the link here on this show. I will be helping out as well, and I hope that all low baggers can come together and just, if you can donate, just anything would be very, very helpful for the family as we link arms together and stick by each other and help each other in times of need. And that's what we have right now. So I will be putting the link right now. If you could take over for a minute or so.
Sure,
Pete.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for doing that. Red Girl, of course, we love you. There's nothing we can say that can make up for the pain and the loss, other than just to say that we appreciate everything you do, everything that you are, Red Girl. And, we love you. That's just about it. And the one thing I always say when it comes to, the loss of a loved one is that the pain that you feel is directly related to the love that you felt in real life. And of course, it's better to have love in real life and deal with the pain that comes with losing it than to never have had love in real life at all. I didn't say that very well, but you know what I'm saying. My point is, Red Girl, we love you, and our thoughts and our prayers and our attention is with you. Thanks so much, Jimmy the Bag, for doing that. All right, so let's see, what else do we have from yesterday? Yeah, I had a lot of nice calls on college basketball yesterday. I was just seeing the card well, and the North Texas New Mexico under was a play that I had. That was a winner. The Buffalo under was a winner. The Oklahoma under was a winner. I had a lot of nice plays. I can't even remember what some of my losses were, but it was good, and I'm glad that the plays that I tweeted out overall, we're winners. And I guess you want to get into handicapping. Let's just quickly check the comment section right now where possible. Oh, and shout out to Angel Romero for tweeting out another soccer play that was yet another winner yesterday. It was in the Scottish League. That guy is a beast when it comes to soccer handicapping. When he tweeted out when he gave that play in the LoBag comment section, I said pay attention to what this guy has to say about soccer. Regular viewers are well familiar with it. First-time viewers, new viewers might not be so familiar. Angel Romero, just a beast when it comes to soccer plays. All right, so there you go. Jimmy the Bag has tweeted out the link for Red Girl and her father. And let's see, what else do we have? Shadow says, just settled in, home from the hospital, looking forward to best show ever. Thank you so much, Shadow. Jimmy and I have put so much work into this show for the past year and a half or so. There have been ups and downs. We do 2 hours of content every day. It's been a tough road to provide the best show that we possibly can. And there are some people who say it's the best show ever, and it just might be. In my opinion, it is. Anyone who disagrees with that, eat me. All right. On that note, let's get into NHL handicapping. How about that, Jim?
Let's get into NHL handicapping, guys. I hope you didn't jump on NIU. I did not. Pete, Rafa just asked me if I was using the headset here. I'm hoping there's no technical difficulties. I am using the headset here right now. It is being used. So, okay. He says, it's not bad. Okay. Yes, I'm ready to work. But before we get to work, Peter, I would love to see your high watermark in NHL.
And before we do that, Donald Trump, the poster Donald Trump, said the LoBag show is by far the best show ever. Is he right? I don't know. I agree with it. And anyone who doesn't agree with that, go fuck yourself. All right, here we go. Now I'm ready. I'm ready.
And my man, Exclusive Productions. Oh, I saw that tweet. Sorry, I'm a little behind catching up on Twitter. He was one Montana State away from a $12,000 parlay. He had 10 of 11. Exclusive Productions. I know it's hard to understand this, but it's very important to come really close to giant scores. It really is, because the more often you are close to them, that you're going to hit them. When you never come close to giant scores, that is the problem. So it's hard to reframe that situation, Exclusive, but great job, respect, and great work.
Here we go. Exclusive Production says the Slow Shack show is amazing. Donald Trump says I am 100% right. It's the only show I watch literally. People are like, Peter, did you just tell everyone who doesn't agree with these awesome comments to go fuck themselves? Yeah, I did. My name is Peter Lojak. You're watching the Low Shack in the Bag show. What I said, I'm tripling down on. All right, let's move on. Jimmy the Bag. All right, Remo says, Pete feisty this morning. Yeah. Little feisty. All right, so you want to get into again? Let me just quickly check the comments for any handicapping opinions that people are, and then we'll get into an NHL. I'm just going to scan very, very quickly. There you go. Kylie Reynolds likes Duquesne +6. I will copy and paste that. I'm going to try to copy and paste all college basketball opinions that come. And Cash Ashton Bet says NC State wins. That's definitely an interesting game. I did look at the Virginia and South Carolina game is very interesting. South Carolina, a very up and down team. They've had some bad losses, some nice wins. They scored a lot of points in the paint against Michigan, which is not easy to do considering how strong Michigan is on the inside, and they're catching a good amount of points against Virginia. That's going to be an interesting game to look at. All right, I'm copying and pasting here Ninja 13 and Gaghart handicapping opinions here that we're going to review in the college basketball segment. I'm just looking for comments, and then we are going to get into NHL.
I got to give a quick shout out, Pete. Sorry to interrupt, but man, I have really loved connecting with my man, Comic Ricky, stand-up comic out of Chicago, great stand-up comic out of Chicago, and he is watching the show with his dad in an assisted living center, and this is where we've been together for a long time now, and what we're seeing the cycle of life.
Yes.
We are seeing babies being born, low baggers having babies. We're seeing loved ones of low baggers die. We're seeing the cycle of life. We're sharing the show with our fathers and sharing the show with our children and sharing the show with our grandparents, and it's just that means so much to me. And I just want to give a shout out to Comic Ricky watching the show with his dad right now, and let his dad know that Comic Ricky is a hell of a capper, an incredible capper, and we are so lucky and fortunate to have him rolling with us. And Pete, I am ready to rock and roll on this card.
Okay, I am looking at the comments here, and yes, and I'm glad that we have Maxwell Smart is in the house. Maxwell Smart, if you don't mind, stay until the college basketball segment, because we would really. Grim Reaper says, Pete, Jimmy, I'm sorry, I keep reading these comments. I love these comments. Pete, Jimmy, you guys make me not want to kill myself. Grim Reaper says, yo, Pete, been watching you for a long time, even back when Jason Sharp used to be on. People been watching me for a long time, Jimmy the Bag. People been watching me for a long time. All right, that's it. Let's get into NHL. Just 2 NHL games on the card. And, the first one, it seems to have Colorado either -1 or puck line written all over it. I know that Grubauer is starting. He is confirmed, and that's not great, right? Carey Price on the other side is good. So as of right now, Price versus Grubauer, how much of an edge would you give Montreal just in goal, Jim? Just in goal.
That's a good question. In fact, I kind of like Grubauer when he has opportunities like this. I don't think he can take the ball and run with it, but we're in a situation where Varlamov has not looked very good and Grubauer is fresh. Certainly Price has an advantage here, but I don't hate that Grubauer is in the lineup right now. Montreal coming off a 4-0 home loss to Boston on Monday night. There was quite a few sharps in our chat that said, man, even though Boston's dealing with all these injuries, watch out for them to step up against this Habs squad. The Montreal was outshot 35-22 to a Bruins team that was on the second half of a back-to-back, and that's a sign that the Habs were not ready to play. Their 30th ranked power play hasn't scored a goal in their last 25 chances, only has 14 all season. People thought that Shea Weber's return was going to change that. It has not. Habs are a healthy squad, only missing Joel Armia from their lineup. Colorado's penalty kill looks awful, and that won't hurt them against this Habs squad whose power play is terrible. Colorado's allowed at least 1 power play goal in 6 of their last 7 games, 2 to the Islanders on Monday. Colorado's gone 1-3-1 in their last 5 games, allowed 7 power play goals over that stretch. Varlamov, as we mentioned earlier, has looked just awful. And I think the big issue right here is Alexander Kerfoot is going to be back in the line. He's missed the last 4 games with an upper body injury. We talked about this Avalanche team having no depth, Pete, and having Kerfoot back is a big deal. Andrew McInnes of the Ice Guys joining us. So Sweet says, Habs and Avalanche will see lots of goals. If there's one thing the Habs have done this season, it's bounce back performance following every shitty performance the previous game. He's right about that. They have bounced back. And Gabe Pasquet says, Avs don't suck. They're not the best team in the league, but they're far from suck. Think before, I agree that the Avalanche do not suck. They're just on a bad run. I agree with Andrew. I think that something is wrong with the Avalanche of late. We've broken it down a little bit with not having their second line centerman in the lineup, not being able to kill penalties. But I don't think I want to take them here. I'm a little pensive about taking them here. I wanted to talk it out. I agree with Andrew. I think that the over might be a spot, but the total is so high. What is the total at right now?
Well, it's the lowest total on the board. It's lower than the other game in NHL. It's 6. But not the other game. It's 6 juiced to the over. A few places have 6.5. Montreal, Colorado. Maybe we can think about maybe a first period or a second period overplay here. I'm just a little bit concerned about Price. Is Price still an elite goalie?
No, he's not an elite goalie, but he's improved slightly over the last few weeks, and I expect him to continue slightly improving. Kylie Reynolds says Jimmy over 6, telling you Montreal team total over. I think they're right. I think Kylie's right. I think Andrew McInnes is right. I like it. I really do. I think that the over is the spot. How juiced is the 6?
Yeah, not comfortably, but not too terribly. -129 would be the best we could give you. Little up there.
-129.
Little up there.
And then what would we get on the Avs -1.5?
The Avs? All right, so you are thinking about the Avs -1.5. Yeah, the Avs -1.5 would be plus 170, maybe. That's the best line, 170.
My concern is this. My concern is that Andrew is absolutely right. This Habs squad has bounced back, and that was a really disturbing performance.
Right.
JP saying something is wrong with the price. Love the over. I like the over here too, but I almost would prefer taking it at 6.5. What are you getting it at 6.5?
Well, I could let me check here. At Heritage, we could give you -105, maybe a little bit better at Pinnacle. I will quickly check that. I have Pinnacle right here, so let me see what we could do here at.
I think I've made a decision what I'm going to do in this spot. I'm going to back. Also, I didn't get a chance to see your high watermark in NHL
All right.
records.
Yeah, we can throw that up. We can throw up the NHL record. And now I feel like sometimes it's nice to gawk at the record, but it's also kind of cool just to talk through the record. There you see I'm at 31 units now, Jim, with just one winner last night. One game, one pick. Kept it simple. Rangers -1, and that one cashed. All right, so we have the Avs here. You get them on the puck line at +170. You get the over 6 at -129, over 6.5 at +100. If you think that that the Canadians are likely to bounce back here, you could get the Canadians team total over at a reasonable price, 2.5 -135, 140 or so.
I'm very happy that we talked this game out. This is the one that I actually had both these NHL games I wanted to talk out, and I want to spend most of the time on NBA today, so I want to move quickly. I am going to agree with Gate Pass Key here. He says, Jimmy, Habs will bounce back next home game. The Avs puck line is the play. I agree with that. And I don't want to take a 6 at -130, and I don't even know if I really want to take a 6.5 at -105.
Plus,
but what I find the most appealing is the Avalanche -1.5 at +170, and that's what I will take.
You want that one, huh?
Yes.
All right. Jimmy the Bag is going to take Colorado Avs, the Avs puck line +170. Let me just write this one down. Colorado puck line +170. Interesting. So you're liking Colorado here, despite Grubauer, despite the fact that it's a bounce back spot for Montreal, despite the big line, despite the fact that Colorado looks like they're slumping a little bit right now in fundamental ways.
I'll tell you what, yeah, their penalty killing doesn't look good, but Kerfoot is extremely important. We saw what happened with this Avalanche team the last time. With a team with limited depth, they can't handle these injuries. So having Kerfoot back is enormous. Also, Grubauer is somebody that I've questioned his mental toughness. I've questioned his ability to take a number one job and run with it. What I haven't questioned is when the number one goalie is struggling and he's been watching him struggle and he's been practicing and he's ready to go, whether he can have an okay game. I think he can.
All right, I'm going to think about this. I'm thinking about the over. I'm thinking about the second period over, which is, just 1.5, but you're paying for it -205 at Bookmaker. Now let's move on to Pittsburgh, Washington, an interesting game. There were some 7s on the total when I saw it. Now there are, it opened at 7. Now there's no 7s quite, but it's still 6.5 juice to the over. It did open at 7 at Pinnacle, and the last time there was a 7 at opened at Pinnacle, I said that it was a Tampa Bay-Toronto game, I believe it was, and, I like the under on that one. I like the under on that one, and I didn't have the balls to actually make a play on it. I should have. I talked about it. It was one of my leans. It was in my leans column. And this one opened at 7 -123 at Pinnacle. Got pounded down. So it's very interesting that that whoever saw that 7 at Pinnacle immediately jumped on the under. And now if you want 7 at Pinnacle, you'd have to take -156. But 7 is just a super high total. Obviously, two big offenses here, which is why the total is as high as it is. And I don't know, with the line has gone in Pittsburgh's direction just a little bit. Maybe Pittsburgh -1.5 is worth a shot if Pittsburgh wins. Probably they run away with it, win like a 5-2 kind of game. What do you think here, Jim?
Well, I think a ton, and this is the best rivalry in hockey, at least the most intense rivalry in hockey. Before we move further, I want to give a shout out to my man, Monsters of Mid. He says, yo, Jimmy, can I get a shout out to Brendan and Keith in Reno? You absolutely can, Monsters of Mid. We love you, beloved LoBagger that you are. Bring them into our fam. Yes, this is the most exciting rivalry in hockey. I find the under very appealing, but I've seen pretty sharp NHL cappers like in the over in this game. I don't really, although it seems like when these guys play, it's either a tight checking, low scoring affair or a wildly exciting, high scoring affair. There just doesn't seem to be those 4-2 games.
Yeah.
This will be the third time they've met. 7-6 thriller on the 4th, 2-1 victory on the 7th for Washington. So Pittsburgh won the 7-6 game, Washington won the 2-1 game. Capitals have won 5 straight, 12 of 13. They are a rested group. I talked about in this morning, I was like, man, should I jump on the Pens here? I like the dog in this series. I think I'll always like the dog. I think you're going to get more value there. But sorry, a note from Rafa that I couldn't read in time. The Capitals are just playing such good hockey. Ovechkin, 7 goals last 3 games, leads the league with 29 on the season, 4 more than Buffalo's Jeff Skinner, who sits in second. Capitals are continuing to be without their bottom pair defensemen in Orpik and Juice. Pens coming off a 4-2 loss at home to Anaheim. They were up 2-0 after the first period. They're not playing very good. A key player for the Penguins that you just wish they had in the lineup is Patrick Hornqvist. And without Hornqvist and Simon, who's a tough guy, I'm very hesitant to take the Pens. Susanna says Caps puck line. If Trash Can starts, if the Smith starts, backing Pitt money line. Wow, so Susanna. And so you guys really need to follow Susanna on Twitter. He's just an incredible capper, especially in NHL. And he thinks that Murray is that bad. Is that bad? That's interesting. Mr. Gokster says, I smell an over, Jimmy. I'm pretty hesitant to make a move here. I wanted to back the Penguins. I'm not going to without Hornqvist and Simon in the lineup, and we know that Schultz has been out for a long time. The Capitals are just rolling. In fact, the more I sit on this game, and the more now that I've said this game out loud, I'm switching. I'm switching my. I think the under is just a little too dicey. What I will do though is I will take the Washington Capitals on the -1.5, just like my man Troy V here. After talking this all out, the Capitals are just playing. The Capitals are the best team in the NHL right now. That's how they're playing. And this Penguins team can't be trusted. And I'm going to back the Washington Capitals -1.5.
Caps the best team, better than San Jose, better than Toronto.
Yeah, and that can change. That can change. This Capitals team's won 12 of 13. Ovechkin is just incredible. 29 goals. This is a team that has been there and done that. Holtby, we like Holtby at home. We don't want to back him on the road. I'm happy that I got the opportunity to talk this out. And when I see the line move in Pittsburgh's favor, I can understand that. A simple move is to take the Pens, or to take the underdog every time these two teams meet.
Yeah.
But after talking this game out loud, that's the only play I want is Capitals -1.5.
All right. Yeah. Everyone in the comments section is saying, I wasn't saying that I like Pittsburgh. I was just thinking out loud here. Just as Jimmy just said, when you see these two teams, your first thought is, I'll probably, my initial lean is to take the dog. But a lot of people telling me, no, don't do that. Steve Priest, Capitals all day. Gate pass key, Caps puck line is the play. Smart Money likes Pittsburgh solo under and the Washington puck line. Paolo Marquez, I'm on Caps. Troy V says, please don't take Pens again. I don't think I've been taking the Pens too much and losing with them. I haven't been taking them much in general recently. And Paolo and Alex de Orta. Shout out to Alex de Orta. Come on, Pete. Caps all day. All right, so you want the Capitals on the puck line, huh?
I do. Richie Rich says whole world on Washington. It's not. The market's moved in Pittsburgh's favor.
Right.
So,
just the whole LoBag show is on Washington. But remember the last time this happened, Sacramento Kings against Chicago Bulls. Whole LoBag show was on Sacramento. Market moved in Bulls' favor. Who was right? The LoBag cappers. Unbelievable. All right, so we can give you Washington +189 on the puck line. Is that good enough for you?
I think that's a great spot. I think this is a perfect spot to be in with this 2-game NHL card. And I needed to talk it out. I needed to talk it out, hear it out loud. But yeah, taking both home teams on the -1.5 seems like a very, very nice place to be in tonight.
And now I am seeing Matt Murray upgraded from unconfirmed to likely. And that's good if you're liking the Caps, right?
Yeah, and to be honest with you, Gabe Paskey, if the Pens want a chance of having a good season, and Lee Davis saying Murray confirmed, they need to start giving Murray the run here. So, long term, this is very, very important for Murray.
And you think Murray is just awful, right, Jim?
No, I don't think Murray's awful. No, here's another guy who was a goaltender of the year in the AHL. Yeah, he's had some injury-plagued, difficult seasons the last couple of years. Yeah, he's been awful the last 2 years, but this is a young goaltender who I think does have enough skill to turn this around. Remember, he had so much skill that Marc-Andre Fleury was expendable, and those are the experts doing the work for us.
And yet, Sosana, great NHL capper. Those are your words, not mine, Jim. Your words. Sosana, great NHL capper. Feels like the goaltender here is the difference between the Pens and Washington. If Murray's in, he's on Washington. If DeSmith's in, he's on the Pens. You disagree with that assessment?
I guess for the present, like for the immediate future, I do slightly, but for the long term, I mean, if I was a Pens coach, I'd be putting Matt Murray in here. Matt Murray has to be the guy moving forward. DeSmith is never going to be an elite goaltender, and Murray has proven at times, maybe not in the last year and a half, but at times he can be that guy. And so I do. If I was coaching this team, there'd be no doubt about who I'd have in goal, and it would be Matt Murray.
All right, I'm gonna take. I will go with you, Jim. I'm gonna take Washington -1, and I will find the lines right now. And it's a tough one. The Pens are coming off a loss, and the Caps are rolling, so it makes me a little bit nervous. But I trust all you guys, and I'll take Washington -1. All right, now let's move on to NBA. Jimmy the Bag. We got a huge NBA card tonight. I don't even know where to start. Of course, I didn't make any picks in NBA. I am making. Although yesterday, how about that? You had the Nets on the money line. Great call there, and I wound up going on the Lakers team total under, and that one was a casher. Unfortunately, I did tweet out 2 second half plays that were losers, so I had another losing day in NBA. But you had a great day, 2 great calls, Jimmy the Bag. One of my losers was actually on Dallas second half. You had Denver -4.5, so there could have been a middle where we both won, but you were right. I was wrong. All right, let's look into this card. I'm thinking I don't even know where to start. But why don't we start with one game that you definitely want to lock in? Did you tweet anything out in NBA yet?
No, this is a really interesting card that I wanted to break down with everybody. I've got a ton of plays I want to make, but just what a treat it is to run with these guys. Right away, we get information from Brandon Lugo that Vucevic is out for the Magic tonight. What a huge turn of events. And again, I'm just thanking that I didn't put plays out, because I thought the Magic were the play here.
That's what I was thinking too.
Thank you so much, Brandon Lugo. That's wonderful.
I was thinking Magic might be the play as well. The line seemed a little bit fishy. What do you think? I was looking at that game, and both teams have been big under trenders. Maybe we look for an over here with the low total. What do you think?
Oh, I've got to recap this game with Vucevic out of the lineup. I mean, you're going to get more run from Mo off of the bench, and this is going to take a ton more time. And I was capping this pretty simply, and I'm coming off of a day that I capped very simply as well, breaking down the situational spot for Brooklyn on their longest winning streak of 3.5 years against what I believed was a Lakers team that wanted to get back to California. And I was breaking down this game very simply, getting even money to beat a Spurs team that is 4-10 on the road because they're coming off a 5-1 homestand, and the Magic are coming back from Mexico City. That sounds like a bet I want to make. And thank you for Brandon Lugo letting us know that is not a move I should make, because I will not make this move without Vucevic. So a very successful 2-game trip to Mexico City for this squad. Beat the Bulls 97-91, beat the Jazz 96-89. Magic held the Jazz to 31.5% shooting, scored 41 points in the fourth quarter. But I have here the Magic are a healthy squad, and I guess they aren't. So I'm going to have to look at this differently. The Spurs are coming off their most complete win of the season. Their Pop says that they're getting more comfortable with where each other is going to be on the court. San Antonio scored at least 120 points for the 8th time, shot 56.3% for its 3rd best shooting percentage of the season. Wow, look at everybody's right. I like Spurs. Great spot for Spurs. Reggie says I was all over the Spurs. I grabbed them at 1 last night. I'm not just going to jump on the Spurs now after hearing about this Vucevic situation. I still think this is a team that everybody is going to have this vividness bias of the 5-1 homestand. But I'm going to have to recap this game without Vucevic. Okay,
sounds good. Jimmy the Bag, let's see, a huge card. What's another game you want to identify here?
Well, I'm very interested in the Hornets team total over against the Cavaliers tonight. Cavs on the second half of the road back-to-back after a last-second tip-in by Nance gave them a win over a tough Pacers squad. A Pacers squad that was – remember when we capped NBA – one thing that I haven't been doing well enough, and I realized that yesterday, was I haven't been paying enough attention to the next game. I've been paying too much attention to the last game and not enough attention to the next game, and I have to change that in my capping, because clearly this was a Pacers team looking ahead towards the Raptors game tonight. Nance had 16 boards, go 15, 6 assists, 3 steals. Cavaliers defense held Oladipo and Collison. Now, did that help with Nwaba back from injury? I don't know how much it helped. He started but only played 14 minutes. The Cavs are without Thompson, Clarkson, and Love. The Hornets are a rested group. I think the Hornets smash here, but I don't feel comfortable taking these giant favorites. I guess I do a little bit more. I'm a tiny bit more comfortable at home, but I think the Hornets smash here. I think that they've had a terrible struggles with their backcourt shooting. Kemba Walker 8 for 33 in the last 2 games. Lamb 11 for 30. Parker has 6 points over the last 2 games, 3 for 8. This is the 4th game of a 5-game homestand. Another spot that I absolutely love. I see the Hornets as smashing here. But just in case of backdoor covers and things like that, I want the Hornets team total over. What could you give me, Pete?
Yeah, see, I was thinking vaguely the same way as you, Jim, but I was also thinking maybe like the Cavs first half, and then the Hornets come roaring back in the second half, and yeah, maybe the team total over. Let me just pull it up here for the Charlotte Hornets. Team total over would be 113.5. I mean, that's not uneclipsable, but is it a 50% play? I don't know. That's a tough proposition there.
It's not tough to me. I will take the Hornets team total over.
No shit. All right, let's see what we got here for you. Jimmy the Bag, 113.5 at Heritage. Let me just quickly check Pinnacle to see if I can find a quickly better line for you. Let me just pull up the NBA stuff here. Let me just pull it up. Jim. Give me 1 second. While I'm pulling it up, why don't you talk about another game that you want to talk about so we don't have dead air here? Let's see. All right, so here we go.
Absolutely.
The Hornets, 113.5 minus 110. That's what we're going to have to give you. And I'm an inch away from taking Cavs first half spread. I'm going to check what that is in a second. But go ahead. Talk about another game, Jimmy the Bag.
Sure. Why don't we just keep rolling down?
Okay.
I'd like to make sure that we hammer all of these games. Why don't we talk about Knicks, Sixers? Both teams will be attempting to bounce back from ugly losses. On Monday, the Sixers lost 123-96 at San Antonio. I was very close to taking the Sixers team total over in that game. And after the first quarter, I was like, oh, I should have done it. And then they just completely fell apart. Butler missed 10 of 13 shots, held to 6 points. Maybe he's still dealing with an injury. And Embiid held to 13 points, 6 of 17 shooting. Sixers have now lost 3 of 4, still 11-6 since acquiring Butler. Knicks held a 7-point lead at halftime and then were just destroyed in that third quarter by the Suns. Very, very strange how badly they fell apart. But they were without Tim Hardaway. He sat out with a sore heel. He's questionable. If he can't go, Courtney Lee will be in there. Trier will not play either with a hamstring injury. He's 6th straight game out. Dotson doubtful to play. Dotson set up past 3 games, which has given Lee and Burke and Ntilikina more time. Moutier scored 32 points. He seems like he's a fixture in this team right now. I guess, again, so we have a few giant double-digit favorites here at home, and Sixers are one of them. I'm not entirely sure what to do with this spot. I'm not entirely sure what move to make here. Why is Butler still dealing with an injury? Why is Embiid playing poorly? I think there's more questions than answers at this point.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. Hold on one second. Go ahead.
Donald Trump says, I really love Knicks first half +7.
Hold on one second.
I mean, I could see that. Oh, no, King Rail. I hate hearing that. Someone slashed all 4 of my tires on both my cars. They got 12 cars. Oh, sorry to hear that, King. Man, thank God to have King Rail here for our NBA breakdown.
Oh, fuck.
And so sorry to hear that your day started out like
that. You got to roll with life's blows, King Rail, but so sorry to hear that. Fucking sucks. I wish I could find those guys and, I won't say on air what I would like to do to them. But I would like to do it. All right, so let's see. So Jimmy the Bag, is there a play that you just because I was just looking for something, tweeted something out, looked for something. Is there a play that you want to add on here in the Knicks Phillies game? Because I was thinking maybe over. No? Oh my God! Now it's up to 228. Holy crap!
Has that been the movement on that total?
Yeah,
moved up to 228. That's not too bad of a move. It's just 1.5 from my Bet Online opening line. Yeah, I think there's just too many questions here.
Okay.
Gegard A says take the under. Tom Marino says Philly was embarrassed last game. I'd lean to them, but I won't lay big numbers since Butler doesn't look great. I agree with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with all of that.
And by the way, I am going to add on Cleveland Cavaliers, first half +8 minus 110. That's at Bookmaker. I'm going to add that one on. Cleveland Cavaliers, first half +8 minus 110 at Bookmaker. I'm thinking this game might be a little close to start. Then, the Hornets pull away late. That's how I'm feeling this game is likely to go. All right, so let's move on. Phoenix, Boston. Obviously, Phoenix is surging. Are they? Jimmy the Bag, what do you think? The Celtics off a loss after a long run of winning, and the Celtics are putting up big numbers. Maybe an over here. What do you think?
I'm uncomfortable trying to figure out exactly when the Celtics are going to play lockdown defense. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to give me double digits on the Suns team that has hope for the first time all year, I'm going to take it. King Rail says my favorite play is Spurs. I gave it last night at the pick 'em 3 units on the Spurs. Wow. Thank you for letting us know that. Maybe I wish I had capped that game already. Thank you. I just had no idea that Vucevic was out of the lineup, and very thankful that our man let us know that. Here, I'm just going to jump on it. Jamal Crawford, career high 14 assists. That's a great sign. That's just a great sign. Booker, we know that he's been a Celtic killer in his past. Also, you look at this. This Sun squad. They just feel like with Kokoskov, who's been taking the brunt of how they've been playing and how he's been coaching, to finally having hope. I feel like there's hope coming into the dressing room.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I look at this Celtics team, Jaylen Brown to me is the X factor for this team. I mean, well, they have so many. They're such a great team. Marcus Smart would be considered one too, but Jaylen Brown, bruised right hand, questionable for the game, but he's just not been. I know he's dealing with a ton of issues, but what a disappointing season. 11.7 points, 4.2 boards, 1.5 assists. We know there's going to be no Horford. That means that Baines and Dice and Williams are going to get, divvy up the minutes. For me, if you're going to give me double digit with the Suns right now, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it here.
Yeah. It's interesting. We got some comments coming in. Tomas Korajem, who knows these things, says, no, Pete, Hornets have better first halves than seconds. That makes me nervous. I was looking at the spot. All right, we won't stick to that. We won't harp on that comment right there, but definitely makes me nervous that Tomas Korajem tells me no, Pete, on the Cavs first half play, but I already gave it. Donald Trump says, I really love Knicks first half, +7. And is it going to be a pass for you, Jim?
No, as I said, I'm taking the Suns with the double-digit
okay,
points.
Right. Sorry about that. I was thinking about something. I was thrown by the friggin' comment from Tomas Korajem. I was like, I didn't look into that as much as I should have. All right, we can give you 12 minus 110 though. It's a split line, 11.5 or 12 minus 110. And Jim will take Phoenix +12 minus 110. And
Gegard A says, when it comes to the Suns, you have to factor in that on the road they can't be trusted to do what they're capable of.
Yeah.
And Gegard A, yeah, I agree. This is a team that is 7-24. They've hated coming into the locker room. They've hated it all year. And that's the biggest reason why I'm making this play, is because for the first time all season, they have hope. And we all know how dangerous a man with hope in his eyes can be.
Yes.
And I just feel like this is a great double-digit spot. I love it. I really do. And I'm not saying that this is a guaranteed cover or anything like that, but there's something powerful when a group of men who've been shit on in the media, blasted everywhere, losing and losing and losing, start feeling good about themselves. And something special happens. And when you have a guy like Jamal Crawford, who's a shoot-first basketball player, putting up a career-high 14 assists, that's sending a message. When you have Booker putting up 38, he's already a Celtics killer. That's sending a message. Reggie leading Celtics, which concerns me, but I'm going to take the double-digit points with the Suns here.
Yeah, and I was thinking about the team total under for Phoenix would be just 105 minus 109. I'm just, as you said, you never know when Boston is going to really clamp down on defense, but this feels like it's a spot where they're not going to. It's always when they're motivated to make a statement that you really want to be aware of that. Right here, I'm not sure that's the case. I could see the Celtics covering, but in a high-scoring game, I was leaning over when it was at 219. Now it's up to 222. So I guess I should have tweeted out the 219. I don't know, but what about Phoenix team total over?
Again, I agree with that breakdown. I love hearing that you aren't certain if Boston's going to play that lockdown D in this game because there's no maybe a need for message. Although they are coming off a loss.
Yeah,
they are coming off a loss. But I'm concerned about timing or trying to time when Boston is going to let down their defensive pressure. So I'm just going to take the double-digit points here.
All right, let's move on to the next game then. Indiana against Toronto, right? The Raptors are back home. Pacers are on a back-to-back after a loss. I was thinking maybe Pacers here, maybe Pacers first half, first quarter, first half team total over. What's your read on this game? Yeah, Toronto has a ton of injuries, but they have that depth. They got that depth, and I'm thinking that, Pacers on a back-to-back off a loss. I like them early, if not to cover, at least have a nice offensive nice offensive start to the game, and maybe be a good bet on their first half or first quarter or both team total overs. Jimmy the bag.
Well, we've missed one of the things is when we break down these games together, you miss opportunities. I almost feel like taking the Pacers with just the 5 points instead of the 8 that we could have had them on earlier is I almost feel like the Pacers money line is a better move to make, and I may make it. Mm-hmm. We talk about how much depth the Raptors have, but come on, they don't have enough depth to get through this. look at this. I mean, look how many people they're losing. We saw Valanciunas go down in that Warriors game. Now Lowry's missed the last 2 games, and he's questionable with that thigh contusion. Fred VanVleet missed the Denver game. He's probable, so at least we'll have him in the lineup. Siakam, who's become incredibly important to our team, back stiffness practice, he's probable. Ibaka right knee swelling is questionable. So if you imagine, Brandon Lugo says no Lowry, no Ibaka, Monroe starting. Donald Trump says I took Indiana early at 7.5. I think the line is naturally going to be inflated towards them due to Toronto's impressive away run, returning home in Indiana's embarrassing loss to the Cavs. Carpe DMQ says Pacers +5 is the move. Van Fleet and Pascal are back. You know, I'm going to do you guys one better. I'm going to take the Pacers on the money line here.
Jimmy the Bag, really? Indiana Pacers money line. It opened at 264. Now, unfortunately, the best line we could give you would be +175. Is that good enough for you?
Is that good enough for me? I think it is. I think it is a +5 situation, getting +175 for a bigger score. King Rail says Pacers money line is a play, Jimmy. Yeah. I'm tailing. It's going to have to be good enough for me because I'm going to take it.
All right, you're going to take it. Jimmy the Bag's going to take Indiana money line +175. That's the current line at Pinnacle. And I am going to take both the Phoenix Suns first half team total over, and I'm going to take the Indiana Pacers first half team total over. I'll quote the lines right now at Pinnacle. The Phoenix Suns first half team total over at Pinnacle. I'll take this line, 51.5 -133. It's obviously getting bet up. Heritage doesn't have one right now, so I'm going to have to take that. And Indiana Pacers also first half team total over, 51.5, just -113. I like Indiana here. Probably Indiana early is also a good play, first half and first quarter. I might add both of those on, or one of them before this show and this segment is over. Let's talk about the Nets and the Bulls. The Nets are on a back-to-back one again, but we know how the Bulls have been this year. Even when they get blown out, they tend to be good first quarter, first half. What about the Bulls first quarter again here at something like Pick'em?
This game has red flags all over it for me. Just quickly replying to Tomor, who says, I don't think Valanciunas out is a big deal. I couldn't disagree more with you, Tomor. It's an enormous deal. It's such a big deal because we've moved Serge to the 5, but when somebody has a Nurkic or a big center, we have Valanciunas to come in. It's so important. It allows us to play Serge at the 5. It just gives us an ability to defend any type of team that comes at us. And that's gone without Valanciunas. I think Valanciunas is extremely important to this basketball team. So really? I really, really disagree. Maxwell Smart out of Toronto says, no Lowry, no win. And Yaya says, can you tell Mr. Peters that's a fantastic shirt? So let's go there here.
Thank you very much. I just got it, paid about $7 for it at Americana Europa this weekend. That's great. Thank you very much for noticing, Yayas. Jimmy the Bag.
The Nets are,
go ahead.
The Nets are on the second half of a back-to-back here. They've won 6 straight. I can see why everybody would be on them, and it just makes me uncomfortable. It just makes me uncomfortable, and that's why the market is the way it is. Last night was the first time in 4 games the Nets didn't get to 125 points. Brooklyn continues to win without Alan Crabb. Alan Crabb's been a little disappointing this year. Bulls have lost 11 of 13. They're 2-5 under Boylan. Okay, here's another reason why I'm a little uncomfortable. Something happened. We talk about the Suns coming to the court or coming to a great place to play like TD Garden with hope and excitement. Thomas Corjum says Chicago moneyline play of the day to me. Mm-hmm. Something also happens when teams get pushed around or get in some sort of a physical confrontation. Yeah, maybe you dislike your coach, but then you see your coach put Jeremy Grant in a headlock and you think, man, maybe this guy's got my back. And then Boylan says, that's what we've been talking about. Fighting for each other. We talk about being a pack of wolves. I thought we had some of that. I like the look in our guys' eyes when that happened. It bonded them a little bit. Yeah, they're missing Levine.
Can you imagine Jabari what that's Parker like when your coach has your back? It's amazing, Jimmy the Bag.
It's very, very important. There's no doubt about it. And Jabari Parker was just to sign this guy for $40 million for 2 years. It was absolutely ridiculous. He's sick, but he's not even in the rotation right now. And again, but I also think that's a bit of a coaching mistake. You can't just let these guys just languish on the bench and think they're going to be able to help you when you need them. Overall, Jay Money joining us, which is this is so wonderful having all these great NBA cappers working with us. This has got red flags all over it, and I don't want to take the Bulls at home, but when I see my man Thomas Gorge, I'm liking them. I can understand why. This has enough red flags, and there's enough options in this NBA card for me not to reach and make a move here.
Okay, fair enough. Let's keep a little bit of a brisk pace here. And I was thinking about the Bulls first quarter, but I'll hold off for now. Washington, Houston, crazy game. Washington off a crazy team, Houston is. Washington's off a back-to-back. They've been bad ATS, but Houston is starting to play a lot better. And I was thinking about a shot with the under here, Jimmy the Bag. When I looked at it, it was 226. Didn't tweet it out. Let's see where that total would be now. The Houston total, let me see where that is. There you go, 224. I was thinking about an under here. Jim, what do you think?
That's interesting. I think I like it. I just need some more time to sit with it. Rockets, as you said, have won 4 straight and improved defensive rating during this 4-game winning streak, 107.1. Coming off that 102-97 home win over the Jazz on Monday night, held their last 2 opponents to 97 points. This is their first game of a back-to-back, and that's why I think that you might be absolutely right. I mean, they have to fly to Miami as soon as this game is over. So they're going to be mindful of Harden, mindful of these guys. So I think I think you're in a really nice spot here. Thomas Gorgim says Wizards are a mess, but 11-point dogs. I agree. 11-point dogs. I'm hesitant to back the Rockets here. They have not been blowing really anybody out of late. I think I don't want to back this Wizards team with Ariza having to play 38 minutes because Otto Porter is out of the lineup. But the under is a very interesting spot.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm looking at other comments here. Bama Nation says, I like the Wizards. If you take away Harden's points, the Houston offense not performing. Like the over possibly, but really like Wizards as the points. Tom Marino says, Houston looks good. They dominated Utah despite the final score. Yes. And again, another friggin' lean. I talked about it. I liked Utah. I liked Houston -5 against Utah. And it pushed, but I could have even gotten 4.5 in the show, and I would have had a winner there. I didn't give it. Tom Marino says, I don't see Houston getting up for Washington, though. So if Houston doesn't get up for Washington, does that mean they're lax on defense or lax on offense, Jim? You know this team like the back of your hand.
Oh, I thank you for saying that.
Yes.
This team has been both these teams have been pretty tricky. The one thing that we've done with the Wizards is when they're on the road against a bad team, don't trust them. But when they're on the road against Harden and Chris Paul. I know this is just a 15-14 Rocket squad that's just 8-5 at home, but they're still the Houston Rockets. This is another game with red flags all over it. And the most appealing play that's come up is your under.
Yeah. I mean, with Paul likes to slow things down in general, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. But we've always felt that. He likes to have control, whereas Harden sort of likes to almost play out of control, and he's incredible when he does that.
All right, I will throw this one on here as well. I'm adding a lot of NBA picks here. There's no afternoon show, so I won't have I could tweet them out, but I'm going to take Washington, Houston under 224 -105. That's the current line at Pinnacle. Washington, Houston under 224 -105. I liked it on the opener, which was 226. That I saw, and of course that number is long gone. I'd love to talk about this more, but let's keep a brisk pace here in New Orleans.
No, I think you're right. I think that you found the right angle on this game, a game where I couldn't find an angle on.
Okay.
I think you were right, and I will jump on that
Jim.
under with you.
Jim, don't tail me, bro. In NBA.
I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe in any of that, Pete. I look for angles, man.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not saying don't tail me because it's going to jinx anything. I'm saying don't tail me because I suck ass at NBA.
No, Pete, we're going to have a big year this year. We're going to have a big year this year.
You think so?
I do.
All right, Jim. You want to tail this one?
I do.
All right, Washington, Houston, under 224 -105. That is the line that we're going to get. Let me see. I once wrote a gambling song called "Don't Tail Me, Bro, I'm Cold as Ice." Don't tail me, bro, I'm cold as ice. I'll sing the whole thing one day, but it's a great song. Don't tail me, bro, thought I'm cold as ice. Thought I knew more than I did, and now I'm paying the price. I got a lot of verses for it. It's a good song, Jim. Nice, right? Not bad, right?
I like it.
New Orleans, Milwaukee. Milwaukee suddenly has been a huge under-trending team, and I have been on a few of those, actually. Not all of them, but a few of Milwaukee's recent unders I have been on. New Orleans also starting to trend under, and we've been talking about that as well, that they sort of, in the beginning of the year, they were just chucking up threes every 3 seconds and going into 250s, 260s. Recently, both of these teams have been trending under, but we are getting a high total here. Is it too obvious to take the under here, the high total, or is it a massive trap, or what's the deal here? New Orleans against Milwaukee.
Well, you have to cap this game, I think, with Brogdon is such an important part of this, whether Brogdon's going to be in the lineup. And the Bucks have been, you're right, they've been playing much worse defensively. I think that the Bucks need to be the play here. I wish I got it a little earlier. I'd also be curious, Pete, see if you could take a second, if you have time, to see what I would get if I could buy to 8 instead of 8.5 with the Bucks.
Sure, I can do that.
Mirotic and Randall are both dealing with sprained ankles. Mirotic missed the last 2 games. Randall went down late Sunday in that loss to Miami. He hasn't returned to practice. They're already without Alfred Payton. Now they play 4 straight games against teams over 500. Depth is not being a strong suit for the Pelicans. Their bench is bad. They're 29th in bench scoring this season, just 29.6 points per game. New Orleans reserves have been outscored each of the last 5 games, averaging just 19.2 points, while the opponents are getting 45.8 points from the bench. I'm going to read what Tomer has to say in a second, but Bucks coming off a 107-104 victory. They're also on Monday night against Detroit. They're dealing with the Brogdon injury. Brogdon sat out the past 2 games with a hamstring issue. Ersan Ilyasova will not play on Wednesday because of this nose issue. Tomer says Milwaukee is a huge game against Boston on Friday. Good spot to bet against them here. I think Milwaukee is flat. I'd lean New Orleans and the over. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah. And same with Reggie's leaning towards the under.
Wait, Jim, what were you asking about? You wanted to take? Do you want to take New Orleans plus 8.5?
No, sorry, I was thinking about taking the Bucks, but
right.
I'm getting a little bit hesitant right now.
Yeah, it's up to 8.5, and if you wanted to buy to 8 at Pinnacle, we could give you minus 118. That's kind of a lot, though. 10 cents for that half point, 8 to 8.5. Not sure that's a key number here in the NBA. It has gotten bet up. It opened at 7.5, and I'm just looking at this. I'm thinking, the total's gotten bet down, which is not a huge surprise. I think, it opened at 234 here, got bet down to about 231. If this one is up at like 234.5 or 235, an hour or 30 minutes before tip-off, I think that is really telling you that the over is probably the play here, because both these teams, again, have been dead under trenders recently after having been dead over trenders for the beginning of the season, and we're getting a high total here.
Wow, big Ragu, a bunch of people on the under here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think? I don't see many people liking a side on this. Tomer says, I'm not on New Orleans because of injuries, but I think Milwaukee is flat here. Al Hard says, I'm on the Pelicans. I agree with Alex D'Orta saying Pelicans only as a starting lineup. I mean, their bench is terrible. Louis Charles said, I think Pelicans show up tonight. Pelicans money line. Well, you know what? That's enough to take me off. I'm not going to hit over 54% going up against these guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to make a move on this game.
All right, let's keep space. Keep moving on. Detroit, Minnesota off of a huge win. I am not sure here. I'm pretty pissed off at myself because, again, another free. I gotta just trust my leans, even in NBA. I like the under in Detroit's last game, and that one did go under. Although I gave as an official play the under in the Minnesota game against Sacramento, and that game went over. Although I did also have the Sacramento team total under, which cashed on that one, so I think I broke even. But Sacramento here against Minnesota against Detroit just feels like Minnesota is putting it together right now. Detroit, I don't know. They've had a couple of nice games. They had that nice win against Boston, which was great, but feels like the spot is here. It's Minnesota or nothing. What do you think?
This is tough because the Timberwolves, you never know when they're going to not try at all defensively. But the Pistons, I think the Pistons are just a bad basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
They're 14-14. They're at 500 right now. I would say this is probably the last time they're going to be sniffing around 500. I really do. Rocky Manichetti saying, Jimmy, what website you look at, what you're reading from on your content? I use a few different sites, but I think the main thing, Rocky, is to have the depth charts up in NHL and NBA. I think that's the most important thing to do. And then there's lots of different sites to get content and breakdowns on games. The simple one is probably just ESPN, but it's extremely important, Rocky, whenever you have a website to give you content, whether it be ESPN or whatever you use to also have the depth charts up. And I use the Roto World depth charts, and I actually probably spend more time staring at the depth charts and imagining pace and flow than I do on ESPN. So that's how I do things, Rocky. Griffin posted his 9 triple-double, 19 points, 11 assists, 10 boards. Also had 10 turnovers, shot 4 of 13, missed 4 shots from less than 8 feet. Pistons were 42.1% in shots less than 8 feet. I mean, this team just can't shoot. They still have a couple guards out in Ish Smith and Glenn Robinson. Minnesota 10-7 since trading Jimmy Butler. Most of those wins were at home. Timberwolves are 8-3 in their last 11 home games. They destroyed the Kings. A mistake not thinking that the Kings would be tired in the second half of that back-to-back. Timberwolves scored at least 130 points for the 4th time. That West Coast trip saw them allow 119.2 points. They don't have Teague, so they're going to have Rose. M. Zaz says, I think the Pistons will show up here. This is tough. Donald Trump said Minnesota is just too good at home. How big are the Wolves favored right now?
The Bulls. I'm sorry. The Wolves. Well, it was about 5. Let me see. That's what I was thinking about, and let me see if it has if it's moved at all. Where the hell? God, it's almost like a college basketball card. Yeah, it's still at 5. No movement at all. Feels like it's a Wolves or nothing.
I agree with you. I would have to like the 5 here. I would have to like it.
Smart Money says Detroit, Minnesota under. Donald Trump says Minnesota -5 looks like an obvious play. Bud Nino says Minnesota at home are a different animal. The Herb says the Wolves show up for their home crowd, but auto fade on the road.
Yeah, Brandon Lugo says Wolves lost 4 in a row. They beat a dead tired Kings team, so I'm not sure about their form. That said, they're 12-4 at home. Tough game. I agree. G&G saying, how's the West Coast of Canada? Man, it's nice to be out here. It's really nice to be back in the West Coast. I'm enjoying it very, very much. Yeah, this is tough. I think the Timberwolves should be the play. They should be the play.
And and how is Detroit offensively? Because I was thinking about the Detroit team total under, which would be 107 minus 124.
They can't shoot. But again, the first thing we talked about is when can we count on the Timberwolves trying defensively? It's a very tough thing. It's a very tough thing to figure out.
So Detroit can't shoot, and is that important for offense?
Yeah, they can have no outside shooting, and that they will always be held back by their lack of outside shooting. And their outside shooting is so bad that Casey's trying to get Luke Kennard out there, and Kennard's not good. He's just not. But they have to have him because no one's hitting these outside shots.
All right. See, I got some comedy chops there, Jimmy the Bag. All right, I will take the Detroit Pistons team total under 107 minus 124. I will add that one on as well. Detroit team total under 107 minus 124.
You're getting a lot of love on that, Pete. Lamont Williams saying, I love Detroit under full game. Jay Money says, good pick, Pete.
No, not bad. All right, I'd love to talk more about all these games, but let's move on. Brisk pace, we have 3 more NBA games to go, and then we do want to talk a little bit about college basketball and a little bit about the college football game that goes tonight. Golden State, Utah is the obvious play here. Golden State can get pulled down into lower scoring games, and it's a relatively high total. I saw 218.5. I'm going to check the total right now. I was leaning under. I'm assuming it's moved at least 2 points to the under. And whoa, no, it's 221. Wow. Okay. That might be the market trying to tell you something.
Pete, I tell you what, I've made a decision. I am going to take the Timberwolves at 5. Jim Rome Sadoo said Wolves struggled since Covington got hurt. Not sure how he's looking. He's healthy again. We have Angel Romero coming in with a play, but actually, can you give me a line on the Timberwolves?
Yeah,
I'll read out my man Angel Romero's play.
Pinnacle, -5, minus 103. -5, minus 103.
-5. -103. Angel Romero, morning soccer pick of the day. The Romanian Liga. Take CSU Craiova on the money line at -150. Craiova 7-2-1 last 10. Gazmetan Media is 1-4-5 in their last 10. Beautiful. Wow. Beautiful. Angel Romero handing out winners.
Shout out to you, Angel Romero, for an awesome Scottish League soccer play yesterday. All right, let's move on. Jimmy the Bag. So the Utah game is going to be a pass for you. Then we got Memphis, Portland. I was thinking we know that there's a big home road discrepancy for Portland. Conley, I think, is going to be out if he plays, probably banged up. And I'm thinking maybe Portland to play here. And then OKC and Sacramento. I don't know. Sacramento, once again, one of these OKC road favorite lines. Now they're going up against Sacramento. Maybe now, since it's a 5 and Sacramento's been so good, ATS in general, maybe now is a spot where OKC actually does roll and gets a cover as a road favorite. What do you think about any of these 3 games?
Well, first off, I am going to jump on the Blazers here at home. Nurkic may have come out of his shooting slump It's unbelievable for a big like that to have a 48%
Hold on one
field goal
second.
percentage.
Gate Passkey says, the hell with me, Pete. Hey, haven't even recognized my birthday pick today. In bed, sick on my birthday, and Pete ignoring me. Wow, no, Gate Passkey, we just got so much to cover here. We got college basketball
I missed
coming.
that.
Go ahead.
I remember he said that yesterday. He said his birthday was Wednesday. Our man Gate Passkey.
I know. Gate Passkey, I got a lot of shit I'm dealing with in this head. A lot of shit I'm dealing with this head. To say nothing of college basketball and everything that's going on right now. Gate Passkey, you know I love you. I don't have to even say it because you already know it, but I'll say it anyway. Happy birthday to you, Gate Passkey. You're freaking awesome. You're hilarious. You know NHL like a demon, like a madman, and I've not forgotten your birthday, and I will give you a birthday pick before this show is over. I promise that. That will come in the next few minutes. Jimmy the Bag, back to you.
Yeah, much love to Gate Passkey. What an enormous asset he is to the LoBag fam. So happy birthday. I hope you start feeling better, and I better see Pete giving you a birthday winner. And I know he will. I know he'll dig deep and find himself a birthday winner for you. Yeah, I want the Blazers here. Nurkic, I think, will start scoring more. We know that Gasol is hurt and playing through it. Gasol's not shooting well. He's not rebounding well. And now he's going to have a big body that he's going to have to bang with. He's not going to enjoy that. They've just played each other, right? The Grizzlies won 92-83 last Wednesday at the FedEx Forum. The win over Portland was that only win in their last 6 games for Memphis. Conley had a great game, and now he's dealing with the hamstring injury. He's dealing with the finger injury. Memphis coming off a bad 110-93 loss at Golden State. Yes, I want the Blazers. And Dwayne Reed says, is Conley officially out? No, I don't have Conley officially out. Let me just give you a last second update on whether Conley will be officially out here.
I think he's day-to-day, but he's definitely banged. Yeah, he's definitely banged up. Although, a lot of times when these guys are like questionable and then they play, they have great games. So I don't know, but I'm seeing is questionable. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will take the Blazers.
All right, Jimmy the Bag's going to take the Blazers. I might go with you on that one. Oh man, it opened at 6. Now it's up to 7. You want 7 minus 110?
I do.
All right, so let me add that one on there. Jimmy the Bag is taking Portland minus 7 minus 110. Portland minus 7 minus 110, and Sacramento OKC. This is a tough game. Look at this. Sacramento's been so good, in general this year. ATS OKC opened as a 4.5-point road favorite, now up to 5 or 5.5. Wow, look at that.
Well, you know that I won't back the Thunder team on the road. They're always going to be favored if you take the Thunder on the road all season long, and there's going to be opportunities where you're like, come on, they look so good, and they're always going to break your spirit. So I'm saying this is a game with red flags. Now, I could see, this is another spot where I could see the Thunder taking care of business here. You got Marvin Bagley out with the left knee bone bruise, Bogdanovich and Shumpert questionable to play, Bogdanovich with the sore right foot, Shumpert with the hip injury. Thunder are winning games. All that said, I will not back this Thunder team on the road. 7-7 on the road. How many of those games have they been favored? A whole lot of them, and I don't want anything to do with that. I did want to talk about this Warriors Jazz spot though, and Sacktown King saying Kings got this, baby. I can understand that, and you're getting points with them at home. I'm not going to jump on. Moshe Bogart wants to get on the NCAA. I don't have a move on this with Warriors Jazz. Pete, do you have any leans on this? I feel like this is a tricky spot. Did anybody in the chat have any leans on this Warriors Jazz spot? It's a tough spot. Curry's playing extremely well. The Jazz have lost 4 or 5. I said earlier, one of the reasons why my record is so good because I'm staying away from certain teams. I'm staying away from the Thunder on the road. I'm trying to stay away from the Jazz all total. The Jazz just confound me. And that last time, when these teams played on October 19th, I thought, wow, this Jazz team is going to be good this year. And how wrong have I been?
Yeah. Louis Charleston says Golden State's going to roll on Utah. Curry goes off for 50. But Michael Jordan says classic trap game. I'd take Utah. And Tom Marino also. I'd lean Utah. More important game for them. And recently they've been much better at home. And we have seen spots for Golden State where they just don't have the energy. Not that if they had full energy going up against another team with full energy that they wouldn't be able to blow them out easily. But there are down spots for Golden State. This might be one of them. I would definitely be leaning Utah. Let me see. Although it's just interesting because with the total moving up, you think that means that you have to assume that Utah and the under and Golden State and the over are correlated. One would assume, but the market has moved in Utah's favor and in the over's favor, which is very interesting. Utah opened at 3, now down to 2 or 2.5, and the total got bet significantly up from the opener of 218. So this is a head-scratching game. I think I'm going to pass on it just because I don't want to force anything.
Well,
Anything?
look at Ralph Portwando, this guy in the Bay Area, phenomenal on totals and so good with his hometown Warriors. He's like in the over here. What has the movement been on the total?
In the Utah game.
Yeah.
218 up to 221. And Bama Nation says, here's a birthday pick for you. Offensive show tonight, Golden State blowout. Carpe Diem K says Golden State is bored on the road. Donald Trump says, yes, Utah seems like the quote-unquote sharper pick. Drew says Warriors is a birthday pick. Wow. The people are already...
And the last time these teams met, they put up 147.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I see Ralph Portwando making a play on a total with his hometown Warriors team, I'm certain that he hits way over 54%.
Mm-hmm.
I've been following. He's so good with totals and his home team. So I'm going to do a straight tail of my man, Ralph Portwando. I'm going to jump on this over right now.
Okay. You're going to take the over in the Golden State game, huh?
Yeah.
We can give you 221 minus 110. Ralph Portuando likes the over, and I'll go. I know I can't go on that one with you because it does make me a little bit nervous. Jimmy the Bag's going to take it though. Golden State, Utah over 221 minus 110. That's a market line. Before we get to college basketball, I do have to make a decision here on a birthday play, and all of my plays here. Obviously, there's 15 NBA games and only 2 NHL games, and my NHL play is Washington -1, but I don't know if I want to make that one a birthday play. But if I gave an NBA play, it would maybe be Detroit team total under or the Phoenix first half team total over, and that will, oh gosh, I don't know what to do here. I need to give a birthday play. Jimmy the Bag, are there any more NHL comments you want to finish up before I make my final decision here?
No, I feel quite comfortable with.
Great.
I feel very comfortable with the NHL card. I really think taking both home teams here -1.5 puts us in a really nice spot. And as you guys who followed me for a long time know that's where I make my best cash is backing home teams on the -1.5, and I think either of these teams can take care of business, and I've been extremely impressed with the way the Capitals are playing.
Yeah. Capper John likes Utah plus the points. He likes that one. So maybe the play here would be like the Utah team total over, betting into both the line movement in favor of Utah and the over. Let me just see what that would be. 109.5. Does Utah have the offense to be reliable to get to 110 in any game?
They do, and Donovan Mitchell seems to be healthy. I expect him to go on a bit of a run here.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Ghoster says thoughts on the total in Montreal, Colorado, Jimmy. Yeah, I would definitely lean to the over, but I do feel like there's more value on Avalanche -1.5. My man, Mr. Parlay, says he faded my play on the Nets yesterday. Mr. Parlay, we're going to win some, we're going to lose some, but when we all are working together, and that's what we did here in that game. We broke down that Nets-Lakers game for a long time as a group and as a team, and sometimes, we're always going to not always be on the same side, but working together is when we will do our best work, Mr. Parlay, so you'll get that cash back, my man.
Oh gosh, man, this is a tough card. All right, I have to make a gate pass key birthday play here, and I don't know what I'm liking here. I guess like Washington, Houston under. That makes some sense, doesn't it? All right, I'll make that one the birthday pick. Washington, Houston under 224 -105. That's going to be the birthday pick. Washington, Houston under 224 -105. That's the birthday pick for Gate Pass Key. I really hope this one cashes. I feel very nervous about it. Obviously, NBA is my weakest sport, but I don't have any other options to give as a birthday pick unless I wanted to give the college football game, which I'm leaning on the dog, but not enough to make an official birthday pick on it. But there you go. I'll make it. And Drew says Warriors -2, so easy, mark my words. So many people liking the Warriors here. Capper John liking Utah, the market liking Utah at least at 3. This might be the most interesting game of the card. Golden State as a tiny road favorite against Utah. Capper John and the market liking Utah. Everyone else in the comments section, though, liking the Warriors.
Steve Priest says Wizards play no D. I find that when you have premier point guards going up against each other, the best point guards in the league, it doesn't create a game full of speed. And although they'll take advantage of the fast break points when they get the opportunity, I think that there's more calm, there's more play calling. And I think that that's what we'll see from Wall and Chris Paul. But you're right, Steve Priest, Wizards play no D, but I really feel like this will be a spot where Wall and Paul will be really strategizing against each other and not forcing things.
All right. Okay, I guess that is it. Now let's quickly move on to what do we have next? College basketball. Again, Jimmy the Bag doing very well in college basketball. We got a dog in there. That's okay. That's okay. We can roll with life's blows here. I did not have a chance to look in depth into this college basketball card. I did yesterday. Had a nice little winning day. Tweeted out a bunch of plays. I actually was up like 5 units in college basketball yesterday, which I am very proud of. But you can't fake it when it comes to this handicapping because it takes time. It takes effort. People don't understand that you can't just sit there and pull this shit out of your wherever and come up with informed opinions and good content. It just takes time. 2 days ago I had it. Last night I didn't. So I'm either going to pass on the college basketball card here or tail some of my men, some of my boys, such as Noli Nose and Jimmy the Bag and Maxwell Smart and others in college basketball. It's definitely an interesting card, though. Let's see the comments that were coming in early in the show. Duquesne +6. And Auburn over NC State is an interesting. Odar Lira was leaning NC State, but Ninja 13 likes Auburn, and Odar Lira leaning NC State. Let's see, what else do we have here? Kobe Valentine oh no, he's talking about college football. Kobe, we'll read this one. He got news of a guy who's in touch with staff members. He is liking Toledo in college football. We'll talk about that one a little bit later in the college football segment. But college hoops, anything, Jim?
Yes, Zion McCoy saying Virginia -5 first half. Robbie Tagaloa liking California Baptist at -7.5. Toledo -12. Houston Baptist at +21. Duquesne +5.5 and money line. And Loyola Marymount -5.5. And our man Houdini says, let's see the records for transparency reasons. I'm off. I believe I'm back down to negative units, unfortunately. But let's put them up for our man.
You can throw the record up. I had a terrible start to a college basketball season, mostly due to a bunch of second half plays that I tweeted out. My actual plays in the show have been not bad, and as you can see, I'm down. I'm close to being even. I did have a nice winning day yesterday. A bunch of plays that I thought I was seeing confidently, and once again, I did give out my very first Instagram video pick, which was Chattanooga +4.5 winner, and I'm very proud and thankful for that one. There's been a big move in the Virginia South Carolina game is very interesting. I have to be thinking that maybe South Carolina might be worth a shot to stay within double digits of Virginia. 8.5 or 9 opened at 9.5. South Carolina seems like they're a little bit sneaky good on the inside, and this is just kind of a high line for Virginia. Let me just pull up Virginia here. Hold on one second. Pull up Virginia here. Virginia's been good ATS, but just barely. They were a 3-point favorite at Maryland, covered by 5. They're getting a lot of single-digit wins here over decent teams, and here they are again. A bit of a bigger favorite. They beat VCU by 8. It feels like we might see in the upcoming few weeks a bunch of comfortable but single-digit wins for Virginia, and maybe spots where they're a little bit overvalued. So I would definitely be leaning South Carolina at least for right now. Jimmy the Bag, if any comments come in, just shout them out. People were suggesting that Duquesne might be a play at +6. They're now down to 5 or 5.5. Although I definitely saw someone else saying that they liked Penn State minus the points as a great play. Samford, I was thinking maybe Samford. Samford's been a team that hold on, let me just find that game. Yeah, there's too many games to break down here. They're catching big points against Tennessee. Not sure exactly how motivated Tennessee is going to be here to get the cover. That Samford is going to be fully motivated to do as well as they can against Tennessee. They had a nice earlier in the year, in late November, I had Samford as a big dog against Belmont. Belmont is another very good Tennessee-based team, and I thought that Samford was getting a little bit disrespected in that one, and they did get the cover. Samford, of course, is 10-1 against the spread on the overall so far this year. At some point, that line value will evaporate, but they may be an under-the-radar team like Washington State was a few years ago in college football. They may be an under-the-radar team that will continue to have some line value going forward. They've only lost one game ATS this year. And here they are catching big points. You know, they came within 18 against Ohio State. This is going to be a game that means a lot to Samford, I think. And, you know, how much does this mean to Tennessee? You know, they want to get the win, but they're coming off of, you know, a big game against Gonzaga, a big game against Memphis, and now they're giving a lot of points here to Samford. And I'm just not entirely sure that that Tennessee is going to be motivated here to win by 25. Comfortable 15-point win, sure. 25-point win, not totally convinced of that. Jimmy the Bag, any comments coming in?
Yeah, some great stuff coming in. I've been copying and pasting as many as I can. Let me get to the very top here. Our man Smart Money. Speaking of which, is Headshot watching the show today? Because Headshot gave me his Twitter, and I guess I wrote it down wrong. I couldn't find it. So Headshot, if you're watching, I do want to connect with you on Twitter, so please, let's figure out how to do that. Smart Money, South Carolina +8, Cleveland State -2, NC State -1, and Boise State +5.5. DJ Big Boss says Loyola Marymount beats Boise State. Noli knows, like in the Western Michigan, Dayton under 139. Noli knows, keep an eye on his unders, man. The guy's incredible. Farshad Hassami, like in the Bearcats and NC State. So we have another person backing NC State. That's Smart Money and Farshad Hassami. Odar Lira liking Drake -3. Drew liking Samford. Zion McCoy, Hofstra, Stony Brook under the total. Odar Lira liking Southern Mississippi +13. BidXN also liking Cleveland State. Tabarak McKinney says, I like Drake too. Christopher Carter, Drake. Kylie Reynolds says, Samford all day, Pete. Wins by 20 or less. And Steve Priest talking about how money's coming in on Duquesne. And Kobe Valentine says, Ryder in a bad travel spot. Drake has clear edge in that game. Just low line is sketching me out.
Yeah. I might tail some of these guys.
Maxwell Smart, though. Maxwell Smart says, Pete, did you smoke some of my weed? South Carolina is a joke.
Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking out loud here. Maxwell Smart, what do you think about Samford +22.5 against Tennessee? You know, Samford is here. Let me pull up my notes again. Maxwell Smart. I don't know if you've looked into Samford against Tennessee. Obviously, you know that Samford has been great ATS this year, and you know, they are coming off of. They did play 2 days ago, got a big win against HBU. And I'm just not sure if what we're likely to see here. Maybe a shot with the under. Maybe the under might be worth a play with Samford, Tennessee. Maybe that might be a safer play there. Maxwell Smart, if you have any thoughts on the Samford, Tennessee game, let me know. Any comments coming in, Jimmy the Bag, before we wrap this up?
Yeah, Maxwell Smart saying Florida State is a nice number. Also, Kobe Valentine liking Southern Miss money line. Arkansas, Little Rock money line. Interesting. Noli knows also liking the Grand Canyon, Northern Iowa under. Coco Bongo and Max agreeing on the Florida State spot. Coco Bongo says Florida State -21.5 at home. I think they win by 30 plus. And Coco Bongo also said that your birthday pick is in peril. It's in jeopardy, Pete.
What, the Houston one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't necessarily love it. I just had to give something because it's better to give a crappy birthday pick than no birthday pick at all, I think. Actually,
I don't know about
probably
that.
better to give no birthday pick and all than a crappy birthday pick. But, you know, I had to do it. I'm not good at NBA. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, Jansen Bunzone says Tennessee is crazy good. Zion McCoy says Samford first half. Ben Sports Picks 24/7 says Samford plus the points. Take it.
Yeah, Maxwell Smart says Samford wants to keep it close.
And here are some plays from Kobe Valentine. Arkansas Little Rock +15.5 and money line. Southern Miss Auburn money line. He likes Duquesne as well. Plus the points. Valparaiso +10.5. Cincy and Loyola Marymount. So Kobe Valentine and DJ Big Boss both liking Loyola Marymount. That should be enough to put us on this one, Jimmy the Bag.
I'm going to have to spend, I've got the afternoon because we have no late show, so I got the afternoon to look into this, and that's what I will be doing.
All right,
I will be spending the afternoon making moves here.
Those are my leans. Tennessee is crazy good, though, as someone commented. You know, I don't want to force anything. I did my own research, my confident research 2 days ago, and I had a nice winning day. I got some things I'm thinking about here, but nothing that I want to, nothing that I want to go on, but definitely trust all these guys who are giving great picks. Maxwell Smart, Kobe Valentine likes Arkansas Little Rock. Let me just quickly, and Southern Miss, let me just quickly check who these teams are playing and what the situation is there, because Kobe Valentine also suggesting that the money line might be worth a shot in both of those situations. Let me see. It's got such a massive card here. Oh yeah, they're playing Memphis.
You caught Coco Bongo's attention with no pick is better than a crap pick, Pete. I think that you were just messing with us on that crap pick. Before we shut this baby down and shut this show down, and Maxwell Smart says I've been backing Sanford to a fault all year. I ain't changing now. And I went with him on Sanford last game, and it was a nice casher. Before we move on, I just want to bring up again that we have a LoBagger in need with Red Girl, whom we love dearly, who's put so much energy into our show. I'm going to put the link here again for the PayPal link to help cover the expenses of her father's funeral. And LoBaggers look after LoBaggers. LoBaggers are family. So just wanted to do a little reminder of that here.
Okay, a lot of people liking Drake, Tabarick McKinney, and Kobe Valentine, both liking Drake. Kobe Valentine just a little bit sketched out because the line doesn't quite make sense to him, which of course makes a lot of sense. And thank you very much, Jimmy the Bag. And now let's just quickly have to talk about the college football game, Ohio against San Diego State. I did make San Diego State a pick in my parlay video, although I think that one is now already dead because I think my other play was Northern Illinois, I believe. So my parlay is dead. But San Diego State, has not been good ATS this year. They were underachieving a little bit, I think, and the line has moved in their favor, which supports the way I was leaning. I was leaning San Diego State. I don't remember if I made that one an official pick or not, but I would definitely be leaning San Diego State. It's the Frisco Bowl, of course, which is played in Texas, not in San Francisco, in case that might have misled you in some way. San Diego State, just a bad team ATS-wise this year. And Ohio, of course, we know they played, the MAC was tough this year. Ohio played a lot of good teams well and got a lot of covers. But I was thinking that in this one, San Diego State we might see a reversal of form from San Diego State here, and they might get a cover. If anyone has any opinions on those, I didn't bet it, though. That's just a lean, and the market is certainly, Kobe Valentine says San Diego State barely averaged 4 yards a rush attempt this season and failed to produce a 1,000-yard rusher for the first time since 2009. Cash action bets like San Diego State at the end the under. Luis Melendez, San Diego State will run over Ohio. Kylie Reynolds says San Diego State money line, Pete. And Kobe Valentine liking Ohio was a legit excellent team in the MAC this year, and in the middle part of the college football season, they were covering week in and week out against some tough competition and against some tough spreads. So Darryl Lyles likes Ohio, Billy Exotic likes Ohio. Not a surprise here that Paco Healy, Aztecs big play. Paco Healy, there's Tabarick McKinney, Ohio and leaning over. All right, there you go. So that just tells you, what this game's all about. It's understandable why people would be looking at both sides here. Maybe it'll come down to the wire and one team will win by a field goal, or maybe it'll be like yesterday and we'll see a blowout with a game with a similar spread here, and everyone who was on Northern Illinois, I was one of those people, will be a little bit embarrassed about that call. No play for me on this one, though, and definitely no bet. But if you gave me a free play right now, I'd throw it on San Diego State money line. What the hell? Kobe Valentine.
Yeah, Kobe Valentine clearly leaning towards Ohio. Kylie Reynolds, who's been very hot of late, liking San Diego State +4, says easy money. Lamont Williams, my man, joining us. Reggie giving a shout out to Red Girl and saying that when we are a family here, when one hurts, we all hurt. Much love to my man, Reggie. Reg, he knows what's up. Paco Healy says Ohio can't pass the ball, and the Aztecs defense is good at stopping the run. And Paco Healy knows this team very, very well, as this is the city that he lives in San Diego, so he knows this Aztecs team inside and out. It's a good sign that Paco Healy's on your side, Pete.
All right, so no college basketball plays from either Jimmy the Bag or myself, but I'm on Washington -1 in the NHL. Jimmy the Bag is on Washington and Colorado, and a whole bunch of NBA plays from both Jim and myself. We'll see how it turns out. And Jimmy the Bag, I'm going to be doing videos later on today covering some of the major bowls, and we'll be back tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern time. Thanks, everyone, and thanks, Jimmy the Bag. See you tomorrow.